Welcome back, guys. More F1 2016. It's round 3 of Season 2. We are in China again for Haas F1. Hopefully we're going to build on our poor performance last time out. There's a spoiler if you hadn't seen it. It was poor. Go back and watch it. It's in the playlist. Regardless, let's divulge into qualifying, shall we? Because here we go. This is our first lap out the pits on super soft tyres. Now, as mentioned in the last video, I'm not a big fan of China. We haven't got any upgrades for this Grand Prix, so, you know, I didn't know what to expect going into it. Obviously, you know, we got points last year in Renault, so I wouldn't mind points again. But as you can see, second sector split, we're 1.3 down on Vettel, and I don't even think he's going to be the pace setter this weekend. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Red Bulls. As we come around the final corner for our first lap, run it out. Hit the DRS, get that nice and open. We come through on a 1:38 flat. Good enough for 6th at the time, but of course not everyone had run, so we had to go out near the end of the session when the grip on track was better. You can see our split isn't great and our delta isn't fantastic. We hadn't got it very right for the most part of the lap. I mean, early lap was fine. Mid lap didn't go so well. But I'm pretty sure that I messed up in the final 2 corners. So hopefully if we get that right, we can make an improvement. So, yeah, I mean, you're having to use 2 sets of super soft tyres in the first qualifying session. While a little frustrating, I didn't exactly figure I was going to get out of that session anyway. So it's not too frustrating. As you can see, we're 2/10 up on our time. We do run a bit wide, so I don't get quite the grip that I wanted at the final corner. But that being said, we got 16th place at the end of the sessions. That did mean we did advance, technically, into qualifying 2. Now, that being said, if I'd run in qualifying 2, I would have got 16th. So I just retired from the session, saved a set of tyres, because there's no point in running when I know I'm not going to get anything out of it. So, as you can see now, obviously, without showing the strategy, we are soft tyres. I believe we're running pretty much the same strategy we ran in Bahrain. We're looking to go soft. Actually, no, sorry, tell a lie. I remember my strategy now. It was soft, medium is my strategy for here because the super soft barely lasts. But as we now build to the 5 red lights of the Chinese Grand Prix, lights are out, dump the clutch, and we're underway. Perez got a very good start next to us. We're going to sit in the slipstream of button. You see Palmer go out. Perez has gone out. Into turn 1, it's a fast right-hander. We've pinched ourselves in. Everyone's going to be running out wide. Try and pick up the pieces on the inside here as we shift down side by side with Danny Kvyat. We've got both Williams cars going very slow ahead of us here. And we now, as it turns to the outside, Kvyat's on our inside. He's going to push us out very wide, nearly on the curb. Williams are side by side. Up into 13th place off the start, though, in the slipstream with Danny Kvyat. Here we go, up into turn 6 at the end of the first sector. Down the inside. Don't break too late as we've got the Renaults and the Williams ahead of us, and I could really do with keeping my front wing intact on this first lap. Williams still going side by side into the left-right complex. We go out wide, and it looks as if Bottas got squeezed. Massa looks like he was going to come out wide. Had to be cautious. Weren't really cautious on the inside because we've ploughed into his side pod. But now we've got past both Williams. They've been dispatched. And now the Renaults are sitting ahead of us as we come to the end of the second sector. We've climbed 6 positions so far in 2 sectors. We try and be the first lap, overtaking God. Faint a little look on Magnussen. Don't quite get the nose in as I wanted. Turned a little bit too late. Thankfully, it looks as if we've held a good line on the exit. And down this back straight, we should have more power than the Renault. Heading towards the hairpin. Early spoiler, you're going to see a lot of action into this hairpin throughout the race, because it is the main overtaking opportunity in China. Over 220 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes. And we're going to take Jolyon Palmer into the hairpin. And that's it. Oh, Palmer gets caught on our rear wheel ever so slightly. It looks as if that's compromised his exit. Gives Massa a good run on us. We give him a little room on the outside should he want to take it. He doesn't. Lewis Hamilton leads after his retirement in Bahrain. So, you know, good for him to be back on form. We've now split the Renaults. And Massa now, lap 2. Not even got DRS yet. And look at the speed. The Williams has got too much speed, man. We cut across, though, and we're going to dive it down the inside. You got Palmer and Hulkenberg battling ahead of us. Massa trying to get some purchase on the outside. Doesn't quite work out for him, so he goes back down into 11th place. We retain our 9th position as we now head on to lap 3, where DRS gets enabled. So this is now where it's going to get a little bit silly. into the hairpin, because basically if anyone's behind us, they're going to get a run. As we're going to see, lap 3 now. Felipe Massa right up behind us. DRS wide army. We've got DRS from Hulkenberg. There's the speed difference. We cut across the slipstream, give ourselves the inside line. Hard on the brakes. Hulkenberg and Palmer still swapping positions. We go down the inside of Massa, but we cut off the outside line this time. So we can't get the traction, can't look to go past us. Palmer there nearly caused a huge accident on the inside. Goes into the pits at the end of lap 3. So his tyres aren't lasting. Hulkenberg didn't get a good run. We're going to use DRS, and we're going to climb ourselves up into 6th place by passing the Force India before turn 1. And the interesting fact is now there's a bit of a gap to the lead pack, but you can already see Max Verstappen in the Red Bull already on the soft tyre. So that's the tyre he started on. So he's already probably in a better position than the Mercedes, because I'm going to assume they would have run super soft, whereas the Red Bull like to run soft. Because they're the best car, they can afford to run the harder tyre. And we've had Massa, we've made contact with him there. I don't know if you saw that, but he never really appeared on our perspective going into the right-hander. I mean, it's almost as if he appeared out of nowhere. He was never really alongside. We've spun him round and he's hit his teammate. Oh, it looks as if he got tapped from behind by the Force India there. Force India comes away relatively unscathed, but Massa's facing the wrong way and causes up, well, a bit of a pilot. Oh my god, a bit of a pilot. So, oh yeah, he gets shunted, and that's why he randomly appears alongside us. Massa there wasn't alongside. Looks as if he would have just tucked behind. Yep, you can see the Force India of Hulkenberg by the looks of things. Sent him into our path, sends us round. And I think we're going to see one more perspective here from Bottas, who's going to see... I mean, it wasn't even as if Bottas hit the Force India. That's a very weird incident. Personally, it looks as if he just got his braking point wrong. But alas, it's given us some good breathing room. So, end of lap 7. We're coming into the pits from 4th position on a set of soft compound tyres. And we're going to fit another set of these soft tyres, as mentioned previously. Get it nicely slowed down. I'm still cautious of my pit lane entry, so I don't want to be pushing it too much. Because drive-through penalties, I mean, if we manage to get a good start, drive-through penalties are pretty disastrous for us, you know. So we need to be making sure that we're careful on that. We're going to go to another set of soft tyres, as mentioned before. Hopefully get these soft tyres to last a little bit longer, to maybe where we've got the point of about 10 laps remaining, or 10 laps remaining. And then we'll go to a set of mediums. So we're going to come out now on the soft tyres. We're still ahead of Hulkenberg, who swapped to mediums after his super soft stint in the beginning. So, and Alonso is still behind us. So, it's good to note that we've managed to stay in a points-paying position due to pace. I mean, our pace around China was promising, considering what our car was. But here we go, and 1 lap later, the safety car is out. So, this is very odd, and I mean, I'll tell you why. It actually was beneficial. I couldn't figure out why the safety car came out, because you can still see 22 runners in the top left. I couldn't figure out why the car came out, because no one retired. No one retired immediately after this. But the reason why it was beneficial is because cars at the front fit super soft tyres after their first stint. So they did super soft, then they did super soft again. So they came in for a set of softs, cleared it on a 3-stop, and the safety car came out. So as such, due to our strategy, we were in 4th place, behind Hamilton and the Red Bulls, and it's at the point where we've got to wait for Hamilton to bolt, and it's just... We're doing 80 miles an hour, even less than 80. Down towards a hairpin. We're usually screaming down at 210 at this point. And we've just got to wait for Hamilton to dump the throttle. It doesn't look like he's going to do it. I've got a hunch he's going to do it out the hairpin though. We're ready to resume racing. And Hamilton's definitely bolted now. And he's got a decent gap to Verstappen. I'm not going to lie, we haven't exactly got the best start there. Because we had just pitted, we haven't come in again. Because we need track position at this point where the safety car is very important. So, we're still on the same set of soft tyres. We've got Vettel behind us, Ricciardo ahead. I expect those 3 to just drive off into the distance. And Romain Grosjean comes in after the safety car, dropping him to very, very much last place. So, I'm not too sure what strategy they're running with Romain, because I don't think it's going to work. Regardless, it's the end of lap 13. Sebastian Vettel is definitely going to be taking a look at this, but he's got the same power as us, you know, same 2016 Ferrari engine. Late on the brakes, Vettel's got the inside line. We've run it a little bit wide, but we're going to get a better exit because of the wide line. Side by side with Seb Vettel. He's going to keep his foot in it, though, as he takes a look round the outside. Oh, he's turned in early there. He turned in very early and hit our car. It's compromised him because he slid very wide. Let's get an onboard of that. Because, you know, he controlled the slide very well. Look, I mean, he's nowhere near, and he's just questionable move by Seb, but car control, very impressive. But now he's lost a place to a Force India and Mercedes. It's now lap 17, so that gave us a little bit of room. Cars ahead of us pit. And we're now coming in, as mentioned before, with about 10 laps remaining to fit the medium tyres. Of course, the safety car has helped us with that because it meant that we weren't pounding around for 3 laps on the tyres as we would have been. So we've saved a bit of life that way. And we're also now going to be fit, as mentioned, the medium. Look to run to the end of the race. Palmer takes the lead, but he's yet to make a pit stop for the mediums. I think we've got Perez in behind us, basically doing the same thing, as now everyone's going to be running on the medium tyre. So it looks as if we're going to come out around about 5th place here. Haas with a decent stop. Rosberg flies past us, so we've actually split Rosberg out. Well, I was about to say we split Rosberg and Vettel. Vettel did slide up the inside of us, but we're going to go down the inside of him, and there we go. We've managed to retain the position over Vettel. With 10 laps to go, we are legitimately racing Vettel for position, both on the medium tyres, both going to the end. Let's fight him. Lap 19, Rosberg's driven off into the distance. Vettel gets a good run on us. He doesn't give me just enough room, so we've got to go round the outside of him, leave it late on the brakes, run it a little bit wide. That allows us to get a good exit, even out on the marbles. Vettel is resorted to having to take the outside for the final corner. Tries it, runs very wide. He's cost himself time again, so that's going to affect him for the next couple of laps. And I don't think he'll get to have a go. Well, I say that, and yeah, he is having a go on lap 20, because that's how much faster the Ferrari is. Regardless, this time he gets a further ahead. We swap it to the inside line. Late on the brakes. Get it just about slowed down. It's almost as if we started our braking early, but didn't brake very hard, so it slid into the corner, not giving him an opportunity to turn in. Back up into 5th position. As we go around now, we've still got 8 laps to go at the start of lap 21, so 8 laps to go now, including the one we're on. Vettel, by the looks of things, has not given up. Here he comes, DRS down the main straight, down the inside into turn 1. Look to try and get on the acceleration. Vettel runs out wide, so we turn it down, squirt the throttle, back up the inside into as it turns to turn 2. He's got just behind us there at turn 3, so we've got him this lap, but of course it's going to come to the straight, and he's going to have a go at us. Here we go, end of the lap. Perez now getting involved. So it's now 3 abreast, and we're going to have to do as we were in Bahrain in turn 1. Down the middle of the 2 cars. Vettel pinched on the inside. Perez gets a better run on the outside. So Perez able to get past Vettel there at the end of lap 21. Lap 22 now. We've broken the slipstream, but the Mercedes power of the Force India is ridiculous. Vettel gets past us. Late on the brakes. We're going to get past Vettel. Can we get past Perez? Oh my god. Oh, that was... It was questionable. It was questionable at best, but we stuck our nose where it shouldn't have been. Perez did leave the door open, and he's turned in too early, pinched himself in the apex, and he doesn't get the purchase out the final corner. But now, lap 23, we're at it again. Here's Vettel and Perez. They're on our inside this time. In the slipstream, can we get Perez without turning into Vettel? Oh, 3 into 1, barely goes, but we've still made it through. Our defensive driving at this juncture in the Grand Prix is absolutely on point. We are scrapping for 5th because we need to take every point that we possibly get. Vettel goes past on lap 24. And again, on the brakes, he just doesn't close the door. He's got no opportunity to come across because the Ferrari can't get far enough ahead on the straight. Therefore, we have just enough capability on the brakes to slow it down and get through. Lap 25, 4 laps remaining. Rosberg is down the road. Here comes Vettel, down the inside through turn 1. Even Perez is going to go. Perez has tapped that tyre, there's contact. Perez is sliding, we've caught it. We're still down the inside of Seb, it turns to the inside of turn 3. Vettel still on the inside, he's pulled ahead of us as he run us out to dry. But he got bad traction. Now heading down to turn 6. He's pulled out a bit of a gap. We're going to have to be brave on the brakes, but we can't let Vettel get ahead of us. Brave on the brakes, down the inside. Don't let him turn him. And we go back up into 5th position. But still at the end of the lap, Vettel and Perez are now right on us. But there's a bit of a gap between those guys and the guys behind. But there we go. Perez and Vettel are through. Sit in the slipstream of Perez. Vettel comes across violently. We don't let him though. Late on the brakes again, still don't let Perez turn in. Scary about turning into the corner, and that enables us to still get up into 5th place. There was some wheel banging going on with the Force India though. We've got to be aggressive here, and it now falls down to the final lap. Can we? We've been doing it for about 10 laps now, defending our position. We've run wide in the left-right combination. Vettel here, through on the inside, barely. We've run it out wide. There was contact made. Not too sure what's actually happened there. It looks like Vettel's lost time, and I'm not too sure what's happened. There's a yellow flag. I think what's happened is Vettel's come across as we pushed him wide and made contact with Perez. It didn't fall upon us, no warning, no nothing. The move was probably very questionable though, I must admit. Alas, it meant that we were not challenged into the hairpin, and we're going to come through, much like in Australia, but Australia, it was probably luck in the weather. This time we've earned it after a strong showing. We're going to come across the line for 5th place in the Chinese Grand Prix. What a drive. That's 3 in a row for Daniel Ricciardo. He is the man to beat this season. But we've performed a lot better this time out. A lot better in China. 10 points to add to our total there, which is pretty nice. You know, you got to say that's pretty nice to see. So, climbing from 16th on the 2-stop. Rosberg was on a 3, and I don't think that worked out for him. Jody and Palmer made 4 stops. Raikkonen made 5, and they still got points. So, God knows what happened to their afternoons. I think Perez did lose a lot of time in the air, finishing down in 17th. So, and Grosjean on that questionable strategy coming on 20th, and Kevin Magnussen 21st. So we're outperforming the Renaults somehow. Whether that's just, you know, they're falling over each other or what instance they're having in the race. But we did well this weekend, and it's not going to be like this every weekend, you know. So we'll take the small victories when we can. But Russia's going to be a different story, because I feel as if our strategy was good this weekend, and the safety car definitely helped. Russia is a one-stop because it's very easy on the tyres. And I think I'm going to use the resource points from Russia. I said this in the last video. I'm going to use the resource points from Russia for a big upgrade for Spain, because Spain is one of those tracks where the AI are very good and I'm not. So, you know, we need to do something there. But well, I mean, there were so many defensive moves into the hairpin. That's all I really had to show you, because the rest of the lap, it was just them sitting on my arse and getting that one opportunity. And regardless, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and comment any feedback down below. Next round is Russia. Hopefully, last season the footage corrupted for Russia. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time, and we can actually get a Grand Prix out of it. So, again, thank you very much. Hit subscribe if you are new or you like the content that you're seeing to be notified about the goodness coming to the channel. I will see you all next time.